Go. Are we up and running? Yeah, it seems to be starting automatically. I don't know why it starts automatically. That's weird. I feel like my mic is just distorting all over the place. Hello? 1, 2. 1, 2. What skunk? What skunk are you guys talking about? Are you reading me clear? Hello and welcome, everyone. Let's see here. There we go. There we have the stream. Nice. Oh, there's so many people here already. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I must say that I'm sorry for last week. So I planned the stream and everything like usual last Wednesday, and then I just forgot because I was working with this on this video thing, and it was gonna go up. What was it? The one with Andrew Huang. So I was basically grinding it for like several days, like between 12 and 18 hours per day, just trying to get it through. So everything became very jumbled, and I just completely forgot about the stream. And I realized that when I realized that it was Saturday or something, and I didn't even know what day it was. So I'm really sorry for that. Well, at least we're here now, and so I want to say hello and welcome to Jakob Live. And today we are asking ourselves the question: is it worth? Are we supposed to switch over to M1 here? Now, I've already seen a few YouTubers, YouTubers do videos on this. So I watched Pete John's video, and I also did watch Henny the Business video. And we're gonna just take like short snippets out of that and just watch them. I don't want to make it into a full reaction video because I don't think it. I don't like those kinds of videos. If you want to watch the full ones, you can always go and watch them. But the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to this whole M1 thing, Mac, and an iPad, is that first of all, I choose to work on this thing because of the touch interface. That's number one, and I mean that's like one of the biggest things. And number two, it's portable, of course. That kind of goes into number one: portable touch interface that I can use anywhere. I can grab this. I can walk away from home. I can sit and work on the bus, which I have. I've worked on buses. I've worked on boats. I've worked in taxis. I've worked on planes. I've worked with an iDevice in so many different transport environments or transport vehicles, and it just works because you have everything you need under your fingers or under your thumb, depending on what type of a device you're working on. I've got the iPad mini, I've got the Big Pro, I've got the phone, and I always have a device that fits whatever I need to do. And whenever I need something portable, like an interface or something like that, I have like multiple small devices, and I can do my work wherever I want. That is not the case if I go over to an M1 Mac, not even with a laptop, because a laptop is much bigger, and it's not touch interface. I mean, it has that little touchpad thing, but it's not a touch interface. They could go the route of the Microsoft Surface, right? Like they could do that. They could do a touch screen for the MacBook. But for me, I'm always wondering, like, for me, the Surface, when I used that, I did this job for Recent Studios a while back, but back then they were called Propellerhead, and I was playing and working with Figure on the Surface on stage. And one of the things that really hit me when I got that Surface in my hands was when I unpacked it. It was a brand new thing, and it was the latest model back then. I can't remember which one it was, the Surface something, but I just felt like it had this identity crisis. It came with an outfoldable stand, and it also came with a keyboard that you instantly attached to it. So you instantly made it into a laptop, only it has a touch interface. And it just felt like, I don't know. I mean, it was nice to have access to stuff that you have on Windows, right? That was cool, but I'd rather just work with something where the things are made for a touch interface when I'm doing touch interface stuff. And here we're going to touch upon stuff that I find annoying with working with iOS, and I'm wondering if you are if you feel the same way. So I don't know. I don't know. Just hello, Meerkat's Music. Hello, Jade Star. Hello, Joshua Good, Ed B. We got Russ in here. We got Pal or Paul or Paul or Pal. Me and Paul actually spoke on Instagram. I think he started. You started like the conversation with me. It was you weren't supposed to do that, but then it happened, and then you kind of were stuck in it, and I just dragged you along or something like that. I think that's funny. That's really funny. Three Stig, Nick Zakrevsky, so many people in here. Oh, Electronic Sounds Audio, of course. My bro Dean is here. We'll see if Vortex jumps in later on. I'm sure that he's done with his live stream by now. So does the M1 look interesting to me? And I'm saying M1 as if it's one thing, but the M1 is. So we're talking about a processor here, an architecture, an I think you know what I'm trying to say. Now, number one, let's say I switch over to a MacBook. Okay, so I lose the touch interface. I lose that completely. I only have that little shitty thing to work with, and I want to work with this. I want to work with the whole screen. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have something interpreting my stuff to the apps. I already do that with MIDI controllers and stuff. But then again, those are made for music. A keyboard on the MacBook isn't. So I've had computers before, and I just no, I don't want to go back to that. But let's say I do. One thing that some of you touched upon in here that I read up in your comments was the thing with memory, for instance. So yeah, I mean it's cool. If you go over to a MacBook, that's cool. Or if you go over to like the MacBook Mini, that's cool, right? It's powerful as hell, but can you upgrade it? No, you can't even upgrade you can't even upgrade the memory. Like, what if you want to go up to a 32 gigabyte memory or 64? That's the power for me. That was always the power when I was using PCs. That if 10 years went by, I would upgrade certain parts of my computer like bit by bit. So the first year what I upgraded was more RAM, and then I upgraded the processor when I felt that maybe now I want something more powerful. I could insert a graphics card, a better graphics card when I wanted that, and I could do that all the time, and I didn't have to completely use up all of my hard-earned money that I was earning on the shitty jobs that I hated, just to buy a completely new system. But that's what it feels like with Mac all the time, or with iPad or anything like that. I can't upgrade it. That's something I've had to get used to, but it's annoying. And then getting a computer that you can't do that with. Am I wrong? I mean, can you upgrade? I don't think so. I mean, I think it's integrated. Do you know, chat? Do you know that if you can upgrade it? Because I don't think you can. And that's just, yeah, you go have yourself a drink. Now, another thing I'm thinking of is, okay, everybody talks about apps, right? What's going to happen with the apps? Are we going to see all the iOS apps on Mac? And some people have already found workarounds of using some apps. Even some of Kaiara's apps can be used. Apart from Agonizer. Agonizer can't be used. I don't know why, and I haven't asked Kai. But some of his other apps, numerical audio apps, can be used directly on these new M1s. The thing is this. What I'm thinking of is, why would any of the bigger companies that have plugins already on a desktop system, why the hell would they want that to be a thing? I mean, in their eyes, they're losing money if they do that, because apps, iOS apps, cost less. And even if you are like, let's say you are FabFilter and you put out your FabFilter stuff or stuff like that, Eventide, whatever. you really want to make that stuff available like that? I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to do that. I do not think we're going to see that. We might see stuff happening with prices, but I don't think we're going to see all of the apps that everyone makes are just being available on M1 Max. I don't think so. And I don't know. I mean, economically, I think it's not viable for some companies. Maybe for some other companies it is, but some of these bigger companies, when I talk to them, they they don't say it, to my face. So take this as me saying it for them, or me saying it, and maybe they won't agree with me. Okay, so don't take it as facts. But when I talk to companies about their apps, it's always a small division of their company. If it's a big company, so I'm not going to name names, but if they have a big company and they make hugely popular apps on desktop, and they also have iOS either equivalents or smaller versions or something, ported over to iOS, then usually that team is much smaller. They have a much smaller budget, and sometimes they make these shell companies or something, smaller companies that lies outside of the bigger company, just to protect the bigger business, because it's I don't think they completely believe in the idea of iOS, and they might not be making enough money for it. And so the only way they can afford doing it is if either their apps sell like in millions, which is often not the case, and if what they're already doing on desktop is giving them enough money to actually fund the smaller studio doing the iOS apps. It's completely different from third-party developers, other smaller indie developers working, doing apps like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 apps per year. That's a different story, and that's the thing. They have to make at least about between 3, 4 or 5 apps per year to make money go around, so that they can afford this lifestyle of working for basically the App Store. So money is always an issue, and it's not like you don't have to be greedy for it to be an issue. That's what I usually see online. The people call most companies greedy, and in some cases that's a thing, but in our sector I haven't seen pure, like, unadulterated greed. I haven't really seen that, like pure greed. I haven't seen the kind of greed we can see for something like game companies like EA or Activision or something like that. I haven't seen that. Not that type of greed. We've seen some microtransactions and stuff like that, but that's in-app purchases. You buy loops and samples, and sometimes you buy functions. And so far, prices haven't been sick. They haven't been crazy. So far, so good. If we look at the gaming side of iOS, it's horrible. It's already ruined. It was ruined 4 years ago, 5 years ago. That part was ruined with microtransactions. We can see full-on greed there. But in our little corner of this market, I haven't seen it yet. I might be wrong. And if you know of any cases, just tell me. Money is a problem. That it's an issue. I think that's gonna decide whether companies do this or not. Make their apps available on Mac. And both. I think Pete Johns, he talks about that in his video. Let's just have a little look in for Pete Johns' video here. And what I'm gonna do is, by the way, I was interviewed by Pete Johns on his live show. I should probably link to that video somewhere. But let's just take a small gander at this. And I'm not going to play the full thing. If you want to see the full thing, you can always go and check it out. Pete Johns has a great channel. He does mainly GarageBand stuff, but yeah.
That are protecting me. So the question is, should that layer of Apple protect us from ourselves?
So he's talking. I know what he's talking about. He's talking about security, like Apple security from cracked stuff, and not running legit OSs and iOSs and stuff like that. And when you're on the Apple platform, you're kind of safe, unless something slips through. But yeah, there's a rigorous testing and clearing cycle for apps and stuff, and you're not gonna find an app that there is just downright blatantly uh, stealing everything from you, unless you're using face apps, kind of like face swapping apps. I've heard some weird stuff about that, but nothing confirmed, so I don't know. But I can definitely imagine someone using the pictures that they get from you, because you're sending your picture somewhere to be processed and then coming back in some of these apps, and so they'll use it to create fake accounts. I've seen that at least, but anything else I've heard weird stuff about identity theft, I haven't been able to confirm that. But stealing pictures and using that for other things, yeah, definitely that's what they do.
Jakob percussion. I actually have this app. Disappointed
Let's
me.
see here.
Mac OS and Windows, $49.99. iPad, $19.99. So 2.5 times, and that's about on average. Most of your plugins are about 2.5 times the cost on the desktop as they are on iOS. Now, this isn't because the iOS versions are inferior anymore. Quite the opposite. They're usually on par exactly with what is actually available in the desktop.
That's the thing. Like, some of these apps are so much, they cost much more, and suddenly on iOS they cost nothing. And why is that? Some will say that, yeah, of course they should cost less on iOS. Um, should they, when the functions are the same? And some will say, well, it's not the same because of the DAWs. Well, that the DAW has nothing to do with it really, because if you can run it as it can run, as it's supposed to run on desktop, then you're running the same code, you're running the same app, and you're just paying much less for it. Now, of course, there is something in that if you can't fully use something like you can on desktop on iOS, which you cannot yet, there's nothing quite like, for instance, Logic on iOS yet. There's nothing like that yet. And I think that's where the key lies in the future. And Henny, the business, in his video, he touches upon that. That what he wants to see in the future is, Logic-like apps on iOS. And I agree with him, and at the same time, I disagree. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. But do you agree with me the prices, or do you agree with me that money is going to decide whether developers make their apps available for desktop or laptop M1 infused Macs? Because I think that's going to be a big thing. Maybe not for third-party developers that already have apps at a smaller price. I mean, they could basically release their apps on this system and just make them more expensive, and then they wouldn't want them to be iOS apps. They would want them to be Mac OS apps, right? I don't know. I don't know. But the reason to why I'm a bit reluctant to, how do I say this? Do I look forward to what's happening with the iOS music platform? Well, quite frankly, I'm not sure. Okay, I'll try to explain myself. The thing is that right now, when I use something like Cubasis, what I am doing is I'm emulating what I used to do in Cubase on desktop. Now, I think most of you can agree that when it comes to touch interfaces, if you've ever used a computer and a music program, it's easier to use something like Cubasis or Cubase, something like along those lines. It's easier, faster almost, to use it with a damned mouse and a keyboard with shortcuts. It's just quicker. With touch, it can be horrible at times, especially when you're working with anything from piano rolls, you want to do fade-ins and stuff like that. That can be horrible. However, if you've got an app like, for instance, Andrew Huang's latest sampler, Flip, or something like TC11, Borderlands Granular, Sampler, apps like that, then a touch interface is, it's perfect. It's made for the touch interface. And those apps on desktop, you would lose so much in what they actually do. Controlling Borderlands with a mouse. Just one mouse. Why? I mean, I get why some people want to do that. It's just that you lose so much in that. Like I use Figure every day to make music with and put down my music ideas. I have never ever been that quick with anything on desktop because with Figure it happens with me just plucking my greasy fingers down into my pockets and grabbing my phone, opening up Figure, which is on the first page, and as soon as I do that, I tap it. When it's opening, I lift my fingers, and then when it's open, I set down my finger, and I have a drum sound right there instantly. And in a few seconds, I have a new piece of music that I'm thinking of. It's like that. I don't do that on desktop. Why would I want to sacrifice that? I mean, you don't have to. You could get both, but I don't have the luxury of that. I'm not rich. Not even after Agonizer. I have to choose. And I'm still looking at the iPad. I'm almost there, by the way, everyone. There's soon enough, I'm gonna have a new iPad. So, I mean, what do you think? Like, it looks like everything is moving towards the kind of workflow we have on desktop and laptop. It kind of looks like that. Now, I've been talking a lot, so if you have any inputs, any questions, or anything, just put it in here so I can bring it up and maybe we can discuss it. And someone is asking, Joshua is asking, has anyone else got Mixbox? I have just I've just begun looking at it, and I am gonna make a video about Mixbox. It's just gonna take me a little bit of time, so I can't say much of it. But what I can say is that I like what I've seen so far. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. Just wanted to mention LK from the other video on MIDI sequencers in AUM. It's an AUV3 clip launcher app, which is great if you like ModStep. So the LK, okay, so anyone who doesn't know, if you missed it maybe, because I released a video right before I started this stream, and that video is about AUM MIDI sequencing. Why I don't do that, but what type of options you have. And I did ask people to write and comment and say what they were using, because since I don't do that, I know that there are people that do, and I want to hear what you say. And LK, I'm gonna check that out. Is it just called LK? I see this shortening LK. Does it stand for something, or is the name just LK? I have desktop music software on my Macs, but I'd rather still make music on my iPad. It feels so much more accessible and fun to me. Using desktop feels to me, and God, it's going too fast for me here. Showing that. Are you still making little boys cry? No, I hope not. Was that a question to me? Right. So Ed, I agree with you. Like, I mean, I was using desktop and laptop stuff uh, before all of this iOS, and that was 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I don't know exactly now. Years are going by fast, and what I remember from that is that it was awesome having everything. And for some workflows, like some of the stuff I do in Cubases, I haven't been able to do intricate setups the way that I did before for all those years. I've had to do workarounds for everything. That has like partially or completely saved my creativity, because I keep finding new creative things of doing ways I want. But I've also started making more minimalistic music with less elements and less stuff in them than I used to. Because when I was using Cubase, for instance, Cubase, whatever number it was back then, Cubase 6, the last version I bought, when I was using that back then I could have, for just a bass, I would have maybe 13 different tracks to do different things on, with loads of different plugins. And then I would have maybe for lead sounds and pad sounds in general, I would run maybe 18 tracks and then run that in two different groups with side chaining and stuff. I'm doing way less intricate stuff here. And some of the music, maybe someday I'll go back and play some music for you and you'll hear what I mean, how intricate and how much I was doing back then. And I do smaller, more compact stuff now. And what that also did was like I miss I really miss working with a complete full DAW with everything that I want right in there. I could produce music without using plugins almost. Like it was that good, right? And I miss that. I miss having those tools. I miss being able to do certain things right there in the tracks with waves and stuff that I have to open up two other apps to do. It's really annoying sometimes. Sometimes it's really non-intuitive. It's just like a big boulder crushing your back and you're you're all squashed and there's blood everywhere and you're coughing. Ugh, I can't get up. I don't know where I'm going with this. The thing is, I feel like sometimes I'm hampered by it, but I'm also driven forward by it because of the problems I have to solve. So yeah, I haven't really used a proper computer in several years. I love being able to draw on my iPad, and I've invested a lot into the ecosystem at this point. Yeah, terrible peril. I don't know. One thing, when you say drawing, I mean, there are so many apps that utilizes a drawing system, like literally drawing. And that's what I liked with Andrew Huang's latest app, actually, with the automation, because it's so brilliant. And the way that the automation can run in like all the automation can run in their own um, if you want to run the automation in one bar, half a bar, you can do that, but the patterns going in 4 bars. It's just lovely. And then it's instant gratification. Uh, there are more apps that allow you to draw, but I know what you mean with drawing instead on the iPad. And that's what it feels like for me when I work with LumaFusion sometimes. The beautiful thing with me not having to right click drag to do a cut in the video, what I do is I just flip and then tap uh, on each side of the markers and it's cut. It's just a quick workflow. I've never been this fast with video editing before. LumaFusion apparently runs fine on the M1. Okay, but I'm wondering, why would anyone want to run LumaFusion if you can run, for instance, what is that other video app that everyone uses so much on Mac? What is it called? I mean, I wouldn't want to run LumaFusion on the Mac because then I would have to use a damned mouse. What's the point of that for me? Because I enjoy being able to really touch and move along my video with my hands. It's like I'm drawing. It's like I'm playing my video. It's lovely to work like that. And if I move that over to the MacBook, well, I'm stuck again with my carpal tunnel syndrome arms, which has disappeared now ever since I stopped using a mouse. And you get these stupid little it's like little spiders, and they try to eat you when you sleep too. Yeah, Final Cut Pro. I was talking about Final Cut Pro. Everybody loves that on Mac. I haven't used it really, but why would they use LumaFusion when they have? I mean, many of the people who are in the LumaFusion group on Facebook. There's a LumaFusion group. It's a very good group. It's got some really knowledgeable big people there that makes some of the most like some really well-known like commercials and documentaries and stuff. And they're in there and they're using LumaFusion. But all of them are asking for one thing. When is Final Cut Pro gonna come over to here? I think that if that happened, they would go over to Final Cut Pro. If that happened, if they got Final Cut Pro over to the iPad. But then again, I wonder how well it would work. It was made for being used with a mouse, right? Whereas LumaFusion was made to be used with the fingers. I don't know. T-Rex hands. Yeah, that's exactly it. When you try Mixbox, can you try it out on Cubasis too, please, Jacob? Joshua, good. Yes. Is there something specific? Oh, you're using Cubasis too, right? And you want to know if it works well with Cubasis. But is there something specific you want to test? You know, if I have some time over, I might even do some quicker tests, and post something over at Instagram, where you should be following me. Jakob, Jakob__. haQ. Jakob underscore haQ. Can you control LumaFusion from your iPad as well on your M1, Jade? Yeah, Jade, you should really answer that. I want to know too. Oh, my partner, she brought me some tea because she's lovely that way. I have to tell you about this tea. I have to tell you about this tea. It's from a brand called Pukka in Sweden, we say. So it's Pukka. And I love this tea. It's a herbal tea because I can't drink black tea because of, well, I think there's a type of acid in tea and it hurts my stomach. Um, that doesn't happen with coffee because it's not the same. I don't know what it's called in English, but in Swedish we say garvsyra. If anyone knows what that is in English, any Swedes in here, Samuel, if you know what garvsyra is in English, but it doesn't work with my stomach. So it's a herbal tea, and this one is a blend of cinnamon and apple. And normally when I'm drunk, like or when I drink like apple teas, they taste like artificial apple, but this one tastes like a fresh green apple, and I don't know how they do it. I mean, it's just lovely. I just love this stuff. It's like a fresh, warm apple. It's almost like a pie, like a floating pie in my mouth. Jade Star says I can control my entire M1 Mac from my iPad Pro with AirPlay. Okay, that's cool. Jade, um, when would that be a good thing to do that? I mean, I get why if you can mirror whatever you're doing on your Mac on your iPad, now that's great when you're doing video editing. Being able to mirror, and especially if you can use more than one device, is that possible, Jade? Have you tried that? The brand, I think it's Friggs. Yeah, I think it is Friggs. Do you drink that, Samuel? Do you drink tea? How many tea drinkers do do we have here in the chat? Yes, Jacob, because it was crashing on Cubase's too. Uh-huh, okay. Joshua Good, I just one more question for you. What iOS are you running and what iPad model are you running? I'm really curious. For live streams, I used it the first time. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, but I prefer ginger and lemon. Yeah, we have that too. My girlfriend, she loves everything ginger. So if there's ginger in it, whenever I pour up some apple juice, because I'm an apple juice lover too, and there's only one sort of apple juice I drink, but when I pour her a glass, I always pour in some like concentrated ginger into that too, because she just loves that stuff. I like it too, but when it's a bit too much ginger, it kind of tastes a bit off to me, like it's getting old. I don't know what it is. Tea, Wabos, tea, Roibos, Rubos, I'm Swedish. Take it. That's can't pronounce that. Sorry. Ginger shots. Yeah, exactly. Like Kung Markatta, Samuel. Green tea for me. I don't like coffee. Well, I love coffee, and I've always loved tea, and I'm so happy that I found herbal teas because wow, I just love that. Also, oof, anything with what do you call it? Black currant. That blackberry thing, the small ones. Oh God, everything with that. I just love that. There's so many good ones. Um, Roibos, Ro Ro Roibas, Robus, Roibas, Roibas. Black coffee. So black coffee drinker, Dean. Doesn't that make you more hyper? I mean, I know you are already hyper. I'm hyper too, and I shouldn't be drinking coffee, but when I've had to pull down on my coffee. When I stopped drinking and taking drugs, I started consuming like copious amounts of coffee until my heart rate was so loud and so fast. I could feel my almost like my chin starting to like shake from it. I had to pull down on that. So only 1 cup per day now, and it hurts because I want more. Is your current iPad holding you back from double o zero double o zero pitched? Um, I'm not getting an M1 MacBook. If not getting an M1 MacBook would mean you have the best of both worlds, you need a new iPad. I would wait to see if they bring the M1 to the iPad next year. Okay, so here's the thing. My current iPad is holding me back, yes. With a newer iPad, I mean, think about this. This iPad is from 2015. All right, it is the Pro, but it's the Gen 1 Pro, and so it has a duo core in there. The new ones have an octa-core, and they have a bit more in RAM. And the RAM isn't too interesting here because there aren't any apps that fully utilizes that. And even with music apps, you are limited to a special amount of RAM. Even if you could put 300 gigabytes of RAM in there, it would still just use a small percentage of the RAM because there's a limitation on iOS. It's very different on iOS from where it is on Mac or PC, for instance. You can't fully utilize it. So you're still going to have the limitation. But the processing power does loads, absolutely loads. And video editing for me has gotten slower with every iOS update. And also, some apps that aren't that heavy will still run slow and because I'm using other apps. And even when I'm not close to finishing up my memory, it's still a bit slow. And there's certain things I can't do. So I really need something new. I need a better. I mean, the graphics chips in the new ones are also upgraded. I could certainly need that. I mean, zooming out a full project in Cubasis will start to stutter. So I can't. I never worked in a zoomed out mode where I can see everything clearly. And it doesn't have a track view like it does on desktop either, which would be nice. So yeah, it holds me back. Should I wait to next year? I don't know, maybe. But then again, if I get a Pro from a 2018 model next year, then it's going to be much cheaper, and that one is almost as powerful as the new one, apart from it not having a LiDAR camera, and apart from it only having 4 gigabytes of RAM instead of 6. I don't know. I mean, it's also about money for me. I can't just go out and buy the brand newest thing. So I always have to consider that too. But yeah, this one is holding me back quite a bit in many cases. Sam, I don't know how to I don't know how to pronounce your name. You have some phonetics or something you could give me. But Sam, are you the same Sam or Kem or Sam that makes the app that I had in my video that I just published? Are you that developer? Because it looks like the same name for me. When I'm running Cubasis 2 and running a few effects, I have a look at how much RAM I got. It says it's used up 97. Yeah, uh, yeah, I get it. Step Bud Daddy in the house. Okay, that is Sam. I don't know if you pronounce it like that. Is that like a Turkish name or something? Orafuda, isn't that also a developer? How many developers do we have in here? Mr. Fung. I love all your usernames in here, by the way. It's always a blast for me. Sometimes when I stop the stream, I just go back and read usernames. That's how I get pleasure from life. I read usernames on live stream chats. I don't know what that says about me. An iPad with M1 would be amazing, but at the same time, Apple would shoot themselves in the foot. No matter what Apple product you get, you regret it in 6 to 12 months when they make a small upgrade. Yeah, yeah, I know. So in the past, I don't know, but if you look back at my channel a few years, you would see that I didn't really talk about any new products coming out or anything. And most channels do that because you talk about what's currently new and everything. And of course, why wouldn't I talk about that? And Bo from Bo Beats is like, Jacob, you're an idiot. What are you doing? It would bring in views to you, right? And I'm like, yeah, but nah, I can't afford it. And it's just, I don't know. And I already have this, and I don't want to get, disappointed and in the old stuff I have, and blah blah blah. At some point I had to get over it because I realized that it wasn't about me, it was about what you wanted too. So talking about this stuff, you made me talk about this stuff. And I mean, it is relevant right now because I've been considering, not considering, I am going to get an iPad, and then these come out, and my developer friends are telling me, Jacob, go buy an M1 instead. Why would you buy an iPad? It's stupid. And then you guys are telling me, hey, go get an iPad. And of course I want to get the iPad. The whole point of my channel is that. So why wouldn't I? And the whole point of me using these touch things and having so much fun and making so much music and making 730 videos, reaching 32,000 subscribers on my main channel. Thank you so much. I reached that like 2 days ago. I mean, of course I need a new iPad. What the hell? I still got my eye on the regular 8th gen iPad for my birthday next year. I hope you get one. You can read like jam or gem in English. It's a Turkish name. Ah, okay. See there. Updating to iPad OS 14.3 right now. Thomas iPad. Oh God. Uh-oh. All right. You tell everybody how it works out for you. I still run iOS 13 because of I've seen the bug reports of video apps for iOS 14. It's still not stable for me because I would not want anything to be messed up with my video exports, which has happened for a lot of people using iOS 14. And it's this constant debate. People say, "Oh, it is ready now. It's working." Yeah, yeah, but this guy it's not working for. And I talked to someone yesterday, and she says it's not working for her. And then this it doesn't work. So if not everybody in tandem is telling me like it's working, then I'm not gonna upgrade. We'll see. And by the way, Sam, I do like your app. Even though that video that I just put out, everyone that I'm referring to right now, about me not doing MIDI sequencing in AUM, it's not, like I tried to say that in the video, it's not a critique against AUM or critique against the apps or the app developers making these things. It's a critique against that workflow. It just doesn't suit me to do that stuff. I'd rather do some other work in something like ModStep or LK that I have to check out and maybe do a video about. But yeah, I do like your app. I already forgot your name. I just tried to, make it so that it looked natural. That I would, yeah. I'm horrible with these things. I'm really liking Riffer 3 as a regular step sequencer with a random as a bonus. Okay, I'm gonna have to write these things down. Both worked on 14.2. Went to 14.2 yesterday. No snags as yet. iOS 14X, all of them. Constantly forget about all my AV3s. A few hours after restart, no DAW finds any AV3s anymore. Sucks, can't make music. Yeah. Maybe I talked about this the last time, but when I and Kairos was working on Agonizer, Apple came out and like, hey, everybody, basically a big you to the developer as I censored myself. Like, we're gonna update this. Have fun. And the first thing that Kai did was try loading up Agonizer. This is before the release. And he's like, oh, crap. The preset browser doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. Man. And I'm like, well, it's 2 months till the release date, or 1 month, or whatever it was. We can fix it. And he did. But yeah, I mean, having that happen, and let's say you're an app developer and you have 14, 15 apps. How many apps does Bram Bose have? I mean, ugh, 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 having to work with that. But hey, next year, beginning of January or February, Apple is dropping their cut from app developers making less than $1 million per year from 30% to 15. I'm going to hold them to that. It's not like I can do something if they don't, but that is a good thing for small developers for indie developers, because I do have a special heart in my I have a special heart. I have a special heart, everybody. It's made out of clay. My mom made it for me. I like it. I do have a special place in my heart for indie devs. I know how much you guys, I know how much it sucks when Apple does these things. So at least you're getting something for it, I guess. Can you look into the way the sustain pedal works in Kai's apps? Brian. Oh, Brian, I'm sorry. I didn't. You're the one that emailed me. I'm talking to Kai. I'm sorry, Kai hasn't had any time to answer because he gets too many mails about every app. So he's trying to go through it all and trying to answer wherever he can. We are looking into it. We are looking into it, Brian. Don't worry. I'm sorry. I should have answered you. I just forgot about it. I did read your email, of course. Oh, we got Vortex in the house. How did the stream go, Vortex? Was it good? I didn't have any time to watch because I was putting up one of my own videos during that time, so I missed everything. Yes, most people would know you can. Oh, then maybe I could get another updated iOS version so I can use later iOS apps. Let's see here. Just freeze the tracks after you make them. Can you run two iPads with the same ID and have the same apps on both? Yeah, of course. I mean, how many devices do I have? At one time, I had all of my iDevices on. So that is now two iPhone 6s units, and it is one iPad Mini 2, one and one iPad Mini 2, and also my iPad Pro. And I can use, if the app is compatible with all of them, I'm signed into one account and I can download the apps on all of them if I want. I don't know if there's a limit. I don't know where the limit is, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 devices that I have them on, and it's not a problem. So yeah, in some cases you have to do a little workaround to find the apps, because in the case of iPhone apps, they can be hard to find on the iPad Apple App Store because they don't make them instantly available. You kind of have to flip through some options in there to see those apps, or you have to go to your purchased ones and search for the app and download it that way. But if you've purchased it once, it's going to work on all your devices. So in the end, okay, if we go back to this MacBook thing, the M1s, would I want an M1? Well, let's say I purchase this and then somehow someone just gives an M1 to me. I would take it gladly, of course. I would love to. Yes, please give me one, and I would of course utilize it on my channel. The thing is just I'm not gonna buy an M1. I don't want to go the route of M1 instead of iPad. The whole touch interface thing is, and the small format of these without an attached like a keyboard to it, just having this device or that device or this device in my hand to make everything that I want to make, which I have been doing for so many years now. My channel is a testament to that. Yeah, I don't want to switch. I don't want to switch back to that static laptop or PC or Mac environment. I don't. But would I utilize it if I had one? Yes, and I can tell you one thing. If there's something I miss a lot, it is After Effects. Okay? There's nothing like that on iOS. I used to work a lot with 3D text and animations and moving stuff around and do effects and stuff. My videos would look way hotter if I had something like that, you know? I do what I can in LumaFusion, and whenever I want to animate something, I use something called Core Animator. But Core Animator leaves a lot to be desired. It's easy when you want to make paper flash kind of type things, like I did with the Apple Loves Your Money video. But yeah, I'm getting concerned of no port on iPhone 13 onward. Okay, this is the deal, people. All of the mobile devices we're using today have ports, but in the future, they are gonna go portless. It's gonna be unwired connections for everything. You're gonna QI charge them, so no cable for that. You're gonna have instant connectivity to any server you have at home or any kind of Wi-Fi. You're gonna have voice control stuff all the time. These things are being made for the consumer market, and that is not us. We're not consumers. We're musicians consuming these products, utilizing them for that. Yes, Apple has a big market in that, but it's very tiny to compared to the market that actually goes out and buy every damned thing they make. It's it's different. So portless. Absolutely. No lightning, no USB-C, no headphone port. It's going to be wireless headphones, and by then we can only hope that technology has gotten better, because the last time I used a pair of Bluetooth headphones without using the app that comes with those Bluetooth headphones, I had sick lag. Now with the app, it's better, but it's not like MIDI better latency, because MIDI can go down when you set it up properly. You have MIDI down to what, 1 to 3 milliseconds. You're not gonna notice that. It's even hard to notice a 10 millisecond kind of delay. And a lot of the ones like Novations controller with iOS, they have a delay of what, 6 to 7 milliseconds. It's really good, but Bluetooth, no, 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 no. No, it's horrible. It's horrible. I have not gotten any good results with that and music making. Now, there might be good ones out there. There might be. But I've just, there's too many apps and too many connections and too many things that can happen that makes it go wrong. I might be wrong, and if I am wrong, I want to be corrected in the chat here. But for me, honestly, ugh, if I could go back in time, I would eradicate Bluetooth. Oh, hello, Sasha. I didn't see that you came in there. And hello, Irvin Castro. Hello, everyone new that have joined up. And here's a name I haven't seen before, 33 Vinyl Chunk 45. That's, oh, I get it. 33, 45. Oh, yeah, I get it. I'm a vinyl lover myself. Are you like someone who makes music with vinyl? Do you scratch or something like that? Maybe. If you do, just feel free to drop your battle mixer setup or something like that. Just drop the stats in there. Just hook everyone up. Everyone may not be interested in stuff like that, but if you are one of those people, then just type it out there. All the stats. I love reading that stuff. I don't like the delay on Bluetooth, Joshua Goodna. Me neither. Me neither. Did anyone? I see that you're talking about the new. Are you talking about the new headphones from Apple? Super expensive. Uh, What? But you're gonna see people buying these. Like, I don't get it. Like, if you want some good headphones out there, there are some really affordable ones that come from really well respected companies that make audio equipment for audiophiles. For crying out loud, why would you pay that for those? I mean, they might sound awesome, but okay, you know what? If I get a chance of trying some out, I'll know whether they're good or not. Because right now I haven't even listened to them, so I can't really say that they're bad. But that's one hell of a price. One hell of a price. Good point. Apples are for the consumer market, but Apple always defined itself as the place where liberal arts and tech meet. So I do hope they will support a port that pros can use. Yeah, what I think is when it comes to these are gonna go portless first. Okay? Make no mistake. These are gonna go portless first, and these are gonna be harder to use with music. People are gonna want to buy older stuff. And to this day, there still aren't any iPhones with a USB-C port, are there? Um, like Am I remembering wrong? Are there any iPhones with a USB-C port? Don't they all have Lightning still? I mean, you can guess why they do that if that's the case. But when it comes to the iPads, I'm not so sure how quickly they will go portless. What I think would happen is that if you look at the new iPad Pros, they have these connections on the back where you have that magic stupid keyboard. It's not a stupid keyboard. It's a pretty cool keyboard, but Jesus, it costs so much. So you pay $320 for that thing, okay? And you pop it onto the back with magnets, and then you have connection points, and then you have a port on there. I think that would happen in the future. If you want ports, you're gonna have to attach it to this keyboard thing, contrived keyboard thing with these ports on it, but the device itself might be portless. That's what I think would happen first. So there would always be some options, but I wouldn't want to work like that. What do you think? The keyboard is cool, but it's so expensive. Yeah, absolutely. It's insane. Mr. Fung says they'll skip USB-C for sure. Yeah, I think so too. Pal says, or Paul, or Pal, or Paul, he likes wires. He likes wires, and I freaking okay. I don't love wires, but I like being able to have wires because it's a safe bet for me every time. When I want something to work, it's a safe bet. And you know, me, I do prefer the bigger, older wires, the 6.3 telejacks and the XLR or Nutric connectors and stuff like that. I mean, I like those. However, I must say that that this I don't like this too much. I like what it represents, like ooh, connection, expandability, awesome. MIDI controllers, sound interfaces, USB microphones. Wow. But I mean, if you look at this thing, but I must say this. How is it possible that Apple are making stuff like this? And I've had mine now for, well, since a few months after I got my first uh, iPhone or something. And this thing, it's the same one. It hasn't broken. But during that time, I've owned 20 pair of these, and they've all broken. I've owned 10 pairs or more of lightning adapter cables, and they've all broken. However, this thing does not. Same with the USB 3 one. Now I get it. It's a shorter cable, and you don't really use it the same way as you do with headphones. But seriously, I mean, only now it started to bulge a little bit. I know you can't see that probably, but it's starting to bulge a little bit around here. That started happening like last year, but so far it's still working for me. Do you test the new iPad Air? Looks great. Irvin, I have not tested the new iPad Air, but I must say, looking at the specs, they look really, really, really good. And if it wasn't for the case of me just really wanting that highest end iPad for lots of reasons, because for one thing, when I make my videos, I like recording my material in the highest resolution possible. Okay? And on an iPad Pro, you get a higher resolution and a higher fidelity and bitrate on your screen recordings than you get on an iPad mini or an iPad Air. And that does a lot of difference. And here's the thing. Back when I did this video where the app wouldn't record properly, when you did screen recordings. When you screen recorded it, it looked like the app was in a zoomed in mode. There was a bug in the app and the developer didn't have time to fix it. So that entire video, I had to record that on my iPad mini. And you can see that the colors are washed out in the picture. I mean, it's not a bug that hinders any of the operations. Only when you screen record it does it hinder that thing. It looks like the app is zooming in. There's a bug, so it's zooming in to the upper right corner when you're screen recording it. It's a weird bug, right? But I had to do that, and that whole video it's colorless almost because of that, and I don't want that. when is Jakob getting a new iPad to replace that old one? Now it's getting close. Now it's getting close. I'm still waiting to be paid for the agonizer thing, but it's also taking time. It's not like we're getting that money instantly. They might pay that out in January or something like that. But I've already saved. I've gotten some donations and also uh, making money with agonizer. So next year I should have one. I hope. I hope. I really hope. Sometimes when I change the USB-C connection direction of the plug, it works. Had it for 1 month now. And you got the new one. After Apple Pencil, the next step will be Apple Magic Wand. Just my the Apple Magic Wand. What would that do though? The pen is the Apple Pencil is pretty good actually. That is something I have tested, but I haven't tested the new one. I've only tested the old one, and I'm quite surprised. I've tested some other pens, and nothing works quite like the Apple Pen. It's pretty good, but with the Mark One Apple Pen, it's got the dumbest damned charging situation ever. Okay, have you ever seen it when people charge that thing? If they don't have that connection, with the splitter, usually people forget that. So you stick your damned pen into the port of your iPad, and it just sticks right out of there, flying. It seems like a very bad situation. Like you could hit that very easily. I wonder how many times that's happened. Um, yeah, no USB-Cs. Thanks for telling me that. So all the iPhones have still have Lightning, and of course they do that because of all the small things you can buy to it, and that little headphone thing. They have to sell millions of it to even justify having made that thing, that little thing where you can put this into, huh? Just for that. It's so silly. Okay, it's so silly, but it's not silly when you're looking at the market and what they're making in money on these things. You know, at some point in the future, it wouldn't surprise me when as many people as possible uses these devices. It would not surprise me if a company suddenly just says, "Hey everyone, if you come down to blah 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 store, we'll just give you a phone, no questions asked." And then they'll just mark up all of the stuff around it as long as it has ports that you have to buy for it. And so they're making money through all the things around the thing. It's always the things that goes to it. Like the Mac Mini is a perfect little product because you're selling the MacBook Mini, and now you have to buy a monitor or a keyboard or mouse or anything like that. If you already have those stuff, that's good, right? But if you're starting out, you're doing that all the time. And phones are just like that. Phones and devices are already free. I wouldn't call them free, Vortex. Many times you end up wait, maybe they could be like that in the US, but here in Sweden, when you calculate costs of phone free, uh, like monthly mortgages, not mortgages, but monthly payoff plans, and you count it with the phone in there, what you end up doing is you end up paying the full phone price plus 10% more or 15% more. Goes into administrations and stuff. I don't know how they do it in US or Canada or in France, but in Sweden many times it can be like that. In US we get a free phone with 2-year data plans. So what does the data plan cost without the phone? Have you calculated that? That's always, they always stick it somewhere else. And 2-year plans, I don't think we have that in Sweden. Do we have 3-year plans? I think they're all 1-year plans. Um, and some companies have actually started, removing the plans where you pay all the time when you're using mobile phones. They only charge you for certain things now. and some of those services have gotten a little bit more expensive. So, they try to balance it out and they make it look free for you, but many times it isn't. But that's the thing. I live in Sweden. I can only talk for Swedish practices, basically. No more 2-year plans and not legal to operate or lock phones. Oh yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, companies in Sweden cannot lock phones to operators because that's always been a big thing. You go and buy a Samsung phone and it comes with this one plan for one company, but then you want to switch to something else and it's locked. The phone is hardware locked to that. Well, software locked, but it's locked. So you can't just take a SIM card from another company and put it in and make it work. That stopped. They stopped that in Sweden. I don't know how it is in other countries. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to get a Mac Mini. I'm not going to get a MacBook Air. I'm not going to get a MacBook Pro, the 13 or the 16. I don't. And I can tell you this, if I'm getting a computer, it will be a PC. Maybe you'll hate me for it, but it will be PC. I would have built it myself. I will build it myself in that case, and I will buy stuff and match stuff together just like I did in the past, putting my own stuff together. And many times when you do that, you can get away with a bargain. If you the same system, a tower system, a small tower system. Once I built one once that was a complete, like the same specs as something else, and what I ended up paying was less than half the price of the finished computer, without screen and everything. So that could be an option for me if I need a video editing platform, which at some points when I do video editing, I just wish that, hey, maybe I just want some 3D text coming in here, flipping around and spewing out some glitter over all these things, making me look all glamorous. I can do that on a PC very easily. I know how to do that, but I can't. If I want to use an app here, I'm gonna get some stupid app. It's like Instagram video glitter, and then there's this shitty glitter coming in front of the screen. It coming out from what looks like a butthole, and it's moving around all over the place. And then it says, "Oh, you can't export this. You have to upgrade to full version. And by the way, it's a plan, so you have to pay this and this every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks, or monthly." Ugh. I just want a good app for that. I can't stand Windows. Well, I can't stand Mac OS. And it took me some time to get used to iOS. Am I completely used to iOS? No. But I'm mostly working in music apps, so it's a touch interface thing with touchy things, and I touch everything. I love touching stuff. I touch stuff all the time. I touch everything. I touch my screen. I almost said I touch myself, but that's wrong. I would go for PC Bitwig. It lays around in front of me. Bitwig Studio. I don't think I've ever used it myself. I prefer. Oh, Pal has an Android phone. Pal or Paul. It's got a 128 gigabyte SD card. Oh yeah, that's something I do miss with iPhone. Being able to just pop in an SD card, come on, that's just great. Oh, I love doing stuff like that. Haven't been able to do that in a while. Touch your nose. I know where this is going. No, 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 no. No, no. I just touched my nose and the YouTube algorithm would put a C19 warning under it or something like that. Remember, remember. I know the one I've got will probably handle most things, but I like to have a bit of headroom when I'm using a lot of effects. I'm using my MacBook for 4 years and it never crashed. I've had some crashes with MacBook, but I could never figure out what it was because Mac is very different from everything I've used before. I like being able to use my computer and my iOS stuff. Alright, so For those of you who are in the chat, how many of you are actually considering and planning on buying an M1 infused Mac Mini or Air or a Pro or something like that? Is anyone here buying one? Did anyone already buy one? We already had Jade talk about it. She was using one for her streams even. Vortex has no need for it. 33 vinyl chunk. Okay, so my MacBook is from 2013, the one I have over here, and it's not even mine. It used to be the workhorse of my partner. She used to use that for work, basically. I have a PC system and a Mac system in this room. Mac is so much better if you are into iOS stuff, no question. I agree with you, Dean. I absolutely agree with you. It's just that when I do stuff on PC, I mean, I know PC like in and out. I can change the behavior of the PC on a flick of a few buttons and some short presses, and go into to the systems, and I can reprogram that stuff. It's almost going as far as me just poking around in the kernel, which I don't. But that's literally it for me. I'm so used to the system. With Mac, it feels like it's stopping me at every corner. Being a PC user going over to Mac has been the hardest thing, because it feels like it's throwing up walls at you. But I just want to do this simple thing. Why can't I remove this update? It's taking up all the space. No, you can't do that. Why can't I? I just want to delete it. No, 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 no. You have to update it to get rid of it. Yeah, but I can't update it because it doesn't have any space, because there's too many updates in here taking up the space that I need to update. Stupid, stupid, stupid Apple. Sorry, went on a rant there. Went on a rant there. That's a problem I'm having now, by the way. I have updates lying around on the hard drive, taking up 20 gigabytes of space because I didn't update. Because I hate, being pestered about updates. And now it's taken up so much that I can't delete them. It stops me even when I'm logged in as an administrator. I've tried hackarounds with some stuff that Kai taught me, and it didn't work for some reason. And I can't get rid of it by updating the computer because it doesn't have enough space, because there's too many stupid updates lying around there. Hackintosh. Oh, you even wrote it with the Q. Weltenkinder. Is that in German? Is that in German? Weltenkinder? Hackintosh is something I did look into. Kairos did tell me that maybe you should look into doing something like that. I've looked into it. It's just that I don't know if I'm going to have time enough to properly get into it. But maybe. Next time, next year, I will be, after getting an iPad, I will be starting to save up for computer parts for a PC build. I want to be able to do two things on that, and that is video editing and maybe play some really old ass games. Because yeah, I'm a gamer, and old games aren't gonna entice me too much for me to just start up games in the studio, because I talked to Kai about that. I can't have a gaming rig inside my studio. That's too much of a, it would entice me, it would just draw me in and I would start gaming instead, because I have a problem with that. That's why I have the console out in the living room and the studio in here. As long as I'm in here, no distractions. I'm just doing streaming, video editing, music production, making my bed. You've seen that in my videos. I make my bed in my videos sometimes. Nino Beats, you're not too late. I mean, it's still an hour left of this stream we're gonna do, or something like that. Almost, at least 45 minutes. So you're not too late. And welcome. John Guerrera? John Guerrera. Or is it Guerrera? I don't know. AirDrop and iDAM are killer. iDAM. iDAM. I've actually tested that. For anyone who does not know, that's when you connect your iDevice to a MacBook through the Lightning, and then you, through iDAM, I don't understand it really, but through iDAM you can make it available as an interface or a port in. I've tried it out myself and it works. but I don't do any music production on here. I have Core Gadget and I have Reason on here, but I don't do any music production, so I haven't really tried using it that way. But that might be something I have to look into more because people keep asking me, how do you integrate the iPad into the studio? And for me, it's so weird, right? Because this is my studio. And that means I have to start doing studio stuff over there on the MacBook. Why is AirDrop so big when I can just use Files app? Okay, Vortex, here's the thing. My damned Files thing does not update instantly. And sometimes it's taken me as long as an entire day before I see files that I upload to the iCloud thing. It takes me a day sometimes before I see it. I try to refresh, I restart the MacBook. No, when I do AirDrop, it's like that. That's why it's big probably for a lot of people. I know that the iCloud file sharing, that would be perfect if it happened instantly, but it does not for me. And I'm sure that there are more people out there where it just takes a long time. It might be different in different regions, but for me it's always so damn slow. It takes me ages. And listen to this. There's still this photo I uploaded 6 months ago. I haven't seen it yet. I can see it on the iPad. I can't see it over here. I don't know where it is. I don't know why it's like that. It shouldn't be. I should be able to see it. I'm in the folder. I can't see it. There's something going on there. So it's not working properly. But with AirDrop, it's right there. It's just right there in your downloads folder. I love that. And moving stuff over from here over back, it's just great. Just share my Windows folder and connect Windows folder. Are you? Wait. You're confusing me, Vortex. Are we talking Windows now, or are we talking between iDevices? Because I'm talking between iDevices and MacBook and Mac OS, not PC. I'm still using MacBook here. I haven't used PC in a while, so I don't know how that would work with the sharing and everything at all. All I know is that I tried to connect this thing to a PC with a lightning cable, and all hell broke loose, and you had to install iTunes, and ugh. Now that I upload to YouTube from the Mac and not the iPhone itself, I can get 4K videos. Yeah, yeah. If you upload from a mobile device, it's gonna automatically compress and scale down videos and stuff. It's horrible. Even when you do it from within a browser, you can try using like a Google like like a Chrome browser on your iPad and upload. It will still pre-compress and do stuff to the video before it uploads it. So that's why I went over to the MacBook to do it instead. And then I realized that it didn't really matter. I was only uploading at 1080p anyway, so whatever. In my case, I could have just uploaded it right. Yeah, it's so stupid. Um, all I do is for that is to share my Windows computer, and all my iOS devices can see all the folders. Yeah, that's a great way of sharing too. Um, but of course, it also depends on how quick that router is that you're having, because you're doing this Wi-Fi, are you, or are you doing it like on a with hardwired, like I'm doing right now? I'm doing it with a little stupid network adapter, and then I've got it connected to a router out there that is connected to another router, and they're all gigabit routers, so everything goes really fast in here. ModStep still crashes on iPad OS 14. Okay. Ugh. Well, luckily I talked about it not being upgraded. I'm using iOS 13, so that's probably why. I didn't even know it didn't work on iOS 14. And a lot of people are gonna find out that a lot of other apps that are just as old as ModStep that haven't received updates are gonna disappear. I had one disappear for me last week, I think. It was a drumming app that I used to use. What the hell was the name of it? And now I can't even download it again. I don't think I even have it as an APK file. on the MacBook. I haven't made a backup in a while, so it's all I've been relying too much on the App Store. I'm still bummed that iOS Safari doesn't support Web MIDI. So either Mac PC is helpful to have hardware. Yeah. Using Wi-Fi with a modem Wi-Fi router, you get 5G speed. All right. Okay. Gotcha. Uh, my router thinks it's 2012. You gotta do something about your router. By the way, I had an old router, but then when I changed to a quicker internet plan because I was having problems with my live streaming, I wanted something faster. They hooked me up with that. They also sent me a brand new router, and wow, stuff happened here. I didn't have dropouts anymore. I didn't have connection problems with my phones or anything like that. Ugh. Yeah, a good router is very important. It doesn't matter how fast your internet is if your router is crap, for instance. But it believes it's 2012. Is that router made in 2012, or is it something weird you did with it? Did you do something weird with your router, Dean? Yeah, they are way more reliable than the old stuff. But I can tell you this: when it comes to these things, these things are. This is my VD Passport Wireless Pro, and it is a wireless drive. It's not a flash drive; it's a hard drive, so it moves. Okay, it's a 7,200 RPMs. It's like one of those old drives. It's about 3 gig. It's not well. It's 3 terabytes of memory in here that you can store. It has an SD slot, which is nice. You just pop in your SD, press the SD when it's full from the camera, and it will just offload everything right onto the drive. It has Wi-Fi, and it creates its own hotspot if you want to, and you can have 2.5 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. And here's the problem though: to use this with iOS, if you don't use it with a cable and have the right FAT format here, you couldn't do that instead. But if you want to use it wirelessly, it's a horrible thing to use because you have to use their stupid app, okay? And it takes ages to connect, and sometimes it drops out. And if you're transferring any files bigger than 2 gigabytes, the whole connection drops, defeating the whole purpose of having something like this. So it ended up becoming a stationary hard drive. Only it cost me 3 times or 4 times as much as if it would have costed me if I just bought a VD drive, a regular VD drive to use with my MacBook the way I'm using this right now, because it's no fun to use with a Wi-Fi with the iPad and iPhone. This one, it's no good. No good. So I'm loving that Apple upgraded iOS so that you now can use drives with directly with a Lightning cable or a USB-C cable. Um, let's see here. Some people are too old for change. Then you need an update. Wireless hard drive will be the next thing I want to try out. Yeah, okay, so 35 vinyl chunk. Don't buy that one, at least. Don't. I don't think it's much fun to use. I'd rather just have a drive with the right FAT format on there, formatted the right way for iOS to read it, and then use a cable because that's way faster to transfer than Wi-Fi over 2.5 or 5. Yeah, it's just when you have that, and especially if it's USB 3 and you're using USB 3 connector, it's much faster. It's really fast, and it pops up into the Files app and everything. It's really lovely. It's the way we always wanted it. Um, oh, you're trying to solve a problem in here. I love seeing that. I love it when people are trying to help others out. That's what I try doing all the time with my channel. Today we haven't really gone off topic. That's good. A little while ago, a few days ago, I was interviewed by a guy named Tony Duncan. Now, this guy is an awesome human being, and he started a group on Facebook for people who are sober, that have gotten sober, or for people wanting to get sober, or people who might not be sober but need a place, to hang out and talk music. All right, and that group has grown, and he's done like amazing work with that. And soon he will be starting his own YouTube channel. So he interviewed me to make a video for this channel, and I'm really looking forward to this and seeing him develop his own channel and his own voice and everything. I'm just really looking forward to it. If he wish me to, I will share his channel when it's up and when he's got the first video up, and I'll promote that so you can all check it out. And if you are one of those people like myself and some other people in the chat who are sober alcoholics or drug addicts, then there is this group on Facebook. It's called Sobriety and Synthesizers, basically. It's all talk about that kind of stuff and music in context with that, if you are interested. I don't write there much myself. I mostly read, and I only write when I really see someone cry out for help. Um, yeah, but it's an awesome thing. Just wanted to say that. By the way, I don't know if you've seen it, but Patrick from the GarageBand Guide, he put up a video like today, and he's nominating Agonizer as one of the top synths, one of the top apps for this year, which is awesome. Because I'm not going to be able to put Agonizer on a list because I can't, because it would be a conflict of interest. Still gonna find a way of talking about it in my top lists, but yeah. So I'm working on my top lists right now, and as you can see on my channel, I've been putting out some videos very quickly, quicker than usual, and usually I just like doing one video a week. The reason to why I've been doing more now is because I've had these videos being made lying on my it's been on my iPad in projects, filling up my iPad, and I've had other projects come in and interrupt me, but I wanted to finish these. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to just get these projects out before the end of the year. So I'm just crunching it like mad, and then I'm gonna take some time off during Christmas. But I'm gonna try to pre-make a few videos at least, so that there's something coming up on the channel, so it's not just quiet for a month or something. Because I do need some real rest away from everything. But yeah, can you write the name of this FB group here, please? Electronic sounds. Dean, that should be okay, right? To write the name, I think. Uh, Put Agonizer on your list, Jacob. Yeah, Nick. I mean, it wouldn't be fair, because I'm so involved. Even if I make that clear, I feel like it wouldn't be fair. But I will find a way of talking about it. Just doing a stick where I'm just, hey, Agonizer would of course be number one on this list because it is the best bass synthesizer in the world, because it was designed by myself and for me, and so I can't put it on the list. If I just do that and then play some Agonizer stuff in the video, and then I'll say, let's move on to the real list, then I've already mentioned it in the list even though it's not on the list. I'm thinking something like that because, man, I'm so happy. But to be nominated on the GarageBand Guides App of the Year, it feels great. It feels absolutely amazing. And the first thing I did when I saw that was I just sent the link over to Kai Aras. I don't know if he's seen it yet. He hasn't answered because I know he's working on another app, hard, really, really hard. And we've also been talking about upgrades and fixes for Agonizer. And that's going to happen probably in January. We're going to get it out. But there's some stuff we need to tie up first. And I also want to add some more presets in there and stuff. So we're trying to discuss how we're going to make that happen and when, because of all the other projects he's in. And I want to make sure that I'm testing everything before it goes out, because I don't want to put out something that hasn't been properly tested because of, what I've been doing all these years. So yeah, Kai seems to be fine with that. I did find more bugs than he was used to people finding before we released the app. That's why there were so few bugs being reported. He said that he's never had an app launch and having that little amount of bugs ever reported before. Because I was so adamant and so we really need to take the time and do this proper, and he was in full agreement with that. I'm so happy that we did. Oh, we got Tony. We got Tony. There we go. Sobriety and Synthesizers group on Facebook. Tony Duncan is in the stream. Tony, you just let me know when that channel is started, when that first video is up, and I'll promote it, man. If that's what you want, then I'll promote it. Don't 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 even think about it. Just ask me. I'm always here for you, bro. So just holler at me, and I'll hook you up. Are you editing that video now? So it's usable? Good. When I use perform view in Agonizer and tap browse or settings, the screen ends up behind the keyboard. Samuel, are you using an older iPad? This is a thing we know about now, and it's a thing that didn't pop up when we were doing the test because of the limited devices among all the testers. So we now know about it, and we are looking into it, and we're going to fix it. So yeah, don't worry about that. Hello, Jamie. Yeah, you're a bit late, but yeah, we still have half an hour or something like that. So yeah, welcome to the stream, Jamie. Jacob, are you doing your look back year end predictions video again? Yeah, of course, and that's gonna drop in January as always. And it again is gonna be about almost the same thing as last year. I know I might be spoiling it a bit, but a whole year has passed, and so far, the only app out there with audio unit multi-output input support is AUM. No good. No good. Ayabaya. That's something we say in Swedish, usually to children. But yeah. Yep. I will be doing it. Orfoda says, please make a video about designing buttery smooth basses. You had one such bass on a video earlier this year. Couldn't reproduce it with figure. Was it analog gear? Orafuda, you have to tell me which of the videos it was. Because if you tell me which video it was, I can tell you instantly what I did to make that bass. So if you can remember what it was about, I can make it happen. By the way, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a 50 hertz hum in the audio stream as soon as I lift my hand here. So can you hear that? So I have to keep my hand on the MacBook all the time because I still haven't fixed an earthing point. Doesn't Ape Matrix support multi-out? Oh, does it? Does Ape Matrix support multi-out? It might, but for me, it's important that apps like Cubase supports multi-output. You know, because I'm using Pro filter, like Pro Q stuff all the time, and I'm using all the FabFilter stuff, and not being able to do side chaining stuff because it's relying on an AUV3 multi-in-out system is horrible. Having to set up my sessions partly in AUM just to port some audio through is such a workaround that it's no fun. And there are many other reasons to why I just think that most DAWs should really take a long look at that, because in the future, if they want to evolve, you know, especially now with the M1s and everything, the multi-in-out for AUV3 should be really prioritized here. Any sale for Agonizer? So we've had one sale and one introduction price already. So it was $10 at the introduction and one sale around Black Friday. And we are looking at Christmas or Xmas or holidays or whatever you want to call it. I really don't care what it's called, but for the those holiday seasons times, we're looking at when we could do something like that, because I think that a lot of other companies will do that. So there might actually be another one. Just stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, because I'll tell you. I will tell you like instantly, like, hey, go grab Agonizer. It's on sale. Oh, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Jakob underscore haQ. You can probably find links in the description under this video or something like that. But yeah, follow me there. And if you don't want to follow me on Instagram, which I really I love Instagram. It's lovely because you can make these videos very easily of you just talking about something, or doing your little jams, and many times you tag me because I ask you, so I get to see all your jams and stuff. Yeah, that's why I want you to follow me on there. I don't like Twitter too much, but I use that. You can find me there, Jakob underscore haQ, same thing. Just spell Jakob with a K, with a K. Yeah. This was a great year for iOS. Many content creators launched awesome apps this year. Yeah, so what do we have? Apart from me, Jakob haQ, and Kai Aras releasing Agonizer, we also have Heinbach releasing his own synth. We have Heinbach releasing his own app together with Bram Bose, which is a hardcore iOS app developer, Gauss. And there's a video coming up about that. I did an interview with Heinbach, and I am, of course, also talking with AudioKit. And yeah, so there's 2 videos coming out about these products, and they're in the works right now. Awesome, awesome stuff. And then it was also, of course, Andrew Huang making, together with Ollie and Christian Blomert and Aaron, the graphic designer, making Flip. 4 awesome, cool things. And of course, like I said, AudioKit, Henny the Business, and Matthew Fesher, AudioKit. I mean, come on. I'm even wearing... Wait, that's... Oh, iPad, you're flipping the pic... Yeah, it's supposed... Tikoidua? It says Tikoidua. It's AudioKit, but it says Tikoidua. I'm representing Tikoidua. I should send a picture of that. Matthew, look at me, Matthew. This is for you, Matthew Fetcher. Someone screen record this and just send him a video. Hello, Matthew. I'm representing Tikoidua. Tikoidua. Tikoidua.com. It's like everything that AudioKit does, only in reverse. So they're deconstructing every app. Send us your app and we will deconstruct it. Make it not exist anymore. The shirt is missing an S in between the O. No. 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 Nope. Nope. Samuel, nope. We're not going there. We're not doing that. I want to thank all of you before. I mean, I'm not ending the stream yet. It's still a few minutes left, but I really want to thank all of you for joining up this stream on and this second channel and doing this with me. I love being able to have it separated like this from the main content, where I just do hard produced stuff, and having this where we just get to talk about whatever we want and have real chats. This is what I wanted, the Slack corner where we can just speak our minds and talk about whatever. You have drastically changed my life, all of you, including people who might not be watching this, on the main channel, but completely drastically changed my life ever since I got involved with you guys, and girls, if there are any out there. I know there are some. And I'm thankful for that, because I live a different life now. I am somebody else. I am something else, and I feel like I'm something more finally. And you made me feel that. So thank you for supporting me all these years. Whether you've been watching, commenting, joining up the live streams, pressing the like button, sharing, just mentioning me. I see mentions of myself everywhere, and I get this warm, really warm feeling. And the feeling is, someone like my stuff and respect the stuff I make so much, or think that my stuff is so helpful that they feel that they wanna share it, it's the best feeling in the world. There's nothing that tops it. Nothing. I used to think, I was in a space where I used to think that the only thing that could top the day was me chugging down a whole bottle of vodka, or just, finishing up that Glendale's whiskey bottle that I had tucked under the fucking pillow. Sorry for swearing. But yeah, there's this different version of me right now, and there's a different versions of emotions out there that I didn't really know about, that I forgot about. And it's this thing here that we're building together. I just get it every time I talk to you, and every time I see someone just linking to something or referring to something. It feels like I've been doing something right and something good, instead of just walking around being a goddamn dickhead. So yeah, thanks for that. And I owe you a lot, actually, because of it. And that's what I'm trying to do here on the channel, just keeping on working on it, because many times I woke up and I felt like I don't want to go on, even though the good is going. Even though the good is going, even though it's going good, even though everything is good, I have what I need to survive every day. I have a roof over my head, I have food, I have a partner who loves me, for some messed up reason, um, even though she knows me by now. I still can wake up feeling like I don't want to go on. And the first thing I grab onto is that, knowing that there are people out there actually wanting to see what I do, and people responding to it and getting something from it, whether it's help or an entertainment or whatever it might be. So yeah, it's really helped. And I'm happy that I'm one of those people who have been able to focus on that, because there are some people that haven't. And I have friends that don't exist today anymore because of them just feeling that it was impossible to go on. And yeah, just thank you so much. And know that you mean a lot to me. Now, to something completely different. Have you ever had Swedish candy? I've been watching some videos on people reacting to Swedish candy, and it turns out that it actually became a thing 6 years ago, and then 4 years ago, and then 2 years ago, and then recently, as recent as just 2 months ago, I saw a video from a group of U.S. citizens eating some some really nice licorice stuff. And here's the thing: I want to talk a little bit about that. All right, all right. I love licorice. It's like one of my most favorite candies. I don't eat candies as much anymore. I've stopped. I've stopped eating sugar stuff. But if I get a bag of Djungelvrål, or Djungelvrål, as you guys say in the U.S., or some of you, I know that all of you aren't from the U.S., of course, but as I've heard it pronounced, it's this yellow bag with a monkey on it. If you can get your hands on some of that, if you ever do, go to the Swedish candy store if you have one in the vicinity where you are. Go and buy some of that. Put it in your mouth and film yourself, and then put it up on Instagram and tag me. I want to see it. It's a very special thing, all right? It's a very special thing to eat. And I love seeing the reaction, because it is my absolute favorite candy, but it's not everybody's favorite candy. I think that you'll find that in Europe, there are just a few countries that are really, really in love with licorice. And that is Finland, and it is Sweden. It's Holland, I think. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think you can find some licorice candies in Denmark and maybe Germany. But yeah, if you come to Sweden, you have to eat some licorice. Oh yeah, the saltiest stuff. And that's all. That's all I had to say about that. Can I get it in IKEA? Sasha, you can get some stuff in IKEA. Yeah, I think you can get, after all these videos, I'm sure that Malako is gonna start sending over Djungelvrål Djungelvrål to IKEA. But you can get like salta fiskar. Like it looks like fish shapes. Those are also licorice, but they're sweet licorice. It's not that. Really, really intrusive licorice. I don't know. Samuel, do you like djungelvrål? Djungelvrål är för mesar. If I translate that, I don't want to translate that because I don't want to use the word that is usually being used to translate a certain word. But Samuel kind of says like djungelvrål is for weak people. Yeah, Turkish pepper. So Turkish pepper is a candy that I also enjoy a lot, and I can eat a bag. And if you eat a bag of Turkish pepper yourself, remember that licorice is what do you call it? Lactating. It makes you well. You will poop a lot, and the consistency of your poop will be very loose, very loose. I've even seen, I don't know if you've seen that, Samuel, but a lot of people are being sent, like, especially, they sent this whole box of Läkerol to this guy from the US. And Läkerol is not a candy in Sweden. It's something you get for, if you have a sore throat, you get some Läkerol. So we don't eat them like candies. And if you eat a whole box of them, you will get the runs. It even says so on the box. Don't overeat these because you will get the runs. And they never tell people that when they send these to them. I just find that a little bit. There was one guy who really poured one in. We never saw the result in the end of the video, but I can imagine what happened. I know. I've done it many times as a child. It's really funny trying to convince someone who's just visiting Sweden, hey, eat a box of these. It's really good. Oh, that's horrible. I was a horrible child. Horrible, horrible child. Giving my friends the runs when they come to visit Sweden. Remember that about me. If you're ever traveling to Sweden, it's like, hey, Jacob, you want to meet up? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's meet up. I'm gonna feed you some stuff. In Holland, we have a lot of it. Yeah. Okay, so Brian, you're from Holland. Okay, then you know about licorice and how good it is. And I know we have, I know that I have like 3 or 4 viewers that are definitely from Finland. They definitely also like that. There's this candy from Finland called, they call it tar. Okay, tar candy, Shara. It's from a brand called Leon, which basically translate into lion in English. I love those. Oh, I could eat them until I croak. I eat and eat and eat, and it's just wow. It's the best thing ever. Ah, I almost sound like Homer Simpson. Kärpastiller, terva. Ah, it's the best. Kärpastiller. It's like tar tablets, basically, if you translate it. Cadillacs. Okay, now I'm getting all, I'm getting hungry. It's becoming, okay, so we're hitting almost 2 hours here. So I know that uh, my partner, she's already started, fired up in the oven so that we can eat something. So I'm gonna round this up. So we went a little bit off topic here, a little bit with some licorice and stuff. But do yourself a favor, all right? If you have nothing else to do this evening, I don't know, maybe it's day where you are right now, but if you don't have anything to do, just search for eating Swedish candies for the first time or something like that. And there are some Korean videos from Korean people that are they're really, really funny, and the reactions to the salty thing. And also, um, I've understood that that type of candy is not that usual to have in the US, and so it's a big contrast to the candies that people from the US get. So the reaction is pretty strong. So just go and search for it because there's some really nice, wholesome. That's what a reaction video should be. Someone eating something and reacting to it. I like that. Not the ones where you just sit and watch a whole video and then talk over it, kind of like I did when we watched the Apple thing there, but it's not really the same. That video is gone anyway, so never mind. It never happened. Yeah. Um, in the meantime, if you haven't watched the latest video I put up about MIDI sequencing in AUM, go watch it. Let us know, everyone read in the comment section down there what you thought about that, and if you have any good tips for people wanting to sequence stuff in AUM. I will be checking out LK as you've pointed out to me now, so thank you so much. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, if you have a high blood pressure, don't eat licorice, especially not djungelvrål, especially not that, okay? Because part of what makes up the salty thing there is ammonium, basically. It's a type of ammonium. It sounds like it's really poisonous, but not in that amount, and we love that stuff, okay? But if you have a high blood pressure problem, don't eat that stuff. Don't, because it's gonna raise your blood pressure. It was good to see you guys too, and I wanna, I will do my best not to forget the next Wednesday stream, okay? So just keep an eye out and stay tuned for some nice vibes with Heinbach in a very nice sweater. He's got the nicest sweater. He got it in Lillehammer in Norway. I think it's a knitted sweater. I love those, It's just the kind of things we wear up here in the north in Scandinavia. Yeah, so as usual, no, wait. You've been watching Jakob haQ live. My name is Jakob haQ, spelled with a K. And as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. And here comes the regular stuff now. I'm just going to end this if I can. English drops from the Netherlands. English licorice not available in England. I'm not sure. I don't know if I have, actually. You can see us, Joe Carter. You funny person. No, I don't think I have eaten that. But if I ever go there after, when we can start traveling, I will pick that up because you've made me want that now. Eating Japanese natto at some point. What is that? That sounds interesting. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go, everybody. I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna trick you this time. I'm just gonna end it, and I'm gonna just like I always do. I just talk and talk, and then suddenly it ends. But this time I'm not gonna do that. I'm absolutely not gonna do that.